Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm gonna tell you the story of Breaking Bad. All the seasons in chronological order. So let's go. This is the story of Walter White, a young and enthusiastic chemist who, with his friend Elliot and his girlfriend Gretchen, founded a little chemical company. One day, Walter broke up with Gretchen and left the small company, selling his share for $5,000. Eventually, Elliot and Gretchen married and became millionaires using Walter's ideas. While Walter became a high school chemistry teacher who doesn't make a dime, Walter was very angry. Of course, he didn't become a millionaire, and all that resentment gradually turns him from a good and honest guy to the biggest drug lord. Everything was going relatively well in Walter's life until it starts to go relatively badly. Because when he was turning 15 years old, his wife tells him she's pregnant, and he also has another job where he cleans his students' cars, and he also has lung cancer. The thing is that one day they are watching a report of an operation of some narcos, and Walter sees that the narcos make a lot of money. Then he accompanies his friend Hank to break in and happens to meet Jesse, a former student of his, and there they meet for the first time. So Walter thinks, I think it's good idea to get together with this young man I haven't seen in years and start cooking meth. That way I will raise money to buy my medicine and to leave it to my family if I die. Yes, that's what I'll do. I will cook methamphetamine. So Walter gives up his job in the car wash and goes to Jesse and says, Jesse, let's cook meth. No way, says Jesse. Come on, says Walter. Will you convince me? Jesse says. Then they grab some chemical stuff, buy a motorhome, and start cooking drugs. From that day on, Walter and Jesse are going to meet with different clients who, in addition complicating their lives, are going to make Walter move to the dark side. But the most important thing is that he ends up very happy realizing that he has found his true profession, and at this point Walter is no longer Walter White, he's Heisenberg, as the business is growing too much. Walter and Jesse have to hire a lawyer to help them, and that's how the best character in the series appears. Saul Goodman is going to become their lawyer and get them new clients. So more professional and with better equipment, Walter and Jesse are gonna keep cooking drugs, but Blue Drag, he says the meth they do is the best in the world and they are the only ones who can do it. Business is going well and they are happy. But Walter's happier because he's cured of cancer. But Jesse is happier because he falls in love with his neighbor. But the neighbor is happier because she is an addict and starts dating a narco. Then Walter stops being happy because realizes the girl is a bad influence of Jesse. 2 weeks later, in a cold night, he enters the house of Jesse just when the girl is about to die, drowned by her own vomit. Walter, instead of saving her, he was staying in silence when he was crying, and Jesse's girlfriend dies. But there is more bad news because some clients sent a message for kill Walter, but Walter was staying alive for only luck. So Walter trying to find to the one who sent the message. And this is the most villain in this series, Gustavo Fring. He is a Chilean man who speaks very bad Spanish, and he also has a fast food place called Los Pollos Hermanos. That's really a front to hide his big business, methamphetamine. With him also appears Mike, Gustavo's trustworthy gun. The Skyler stops of the way of his husband Walter White earn money. They are appearing and getting bigger. For this reason, they end up divorcing, and Walter confesses to her that he cooks meth to make a living and leave money for his family. And instead of denouncing him, she becomes his accountant and helps him launder money. Meanwhile, Jesse tries to be happy again and starts dating a girl. But let me tell you that Gustavo Fring's employees kill a neighbor of the girl and Jesse wants to seek revenge. He wants to kill the guys. Obviously, Jesse has the odds against him. But salvation just arrives. Walter runs them over with a car in order to kill them. This whole situation makes Gustavo Fring think that Walter is a dangerous guy who can do anything at any time. The point is that Gustavo lets them continue cooking for him, but he tells them, if you ever misbehave again, this will happen to you. And he cuts off the neck of one of his employees. The boys are still working, but Walter knows that at any moment he will have to kill Gustavo, and the plan is to poison him with resina. And as Gustavo knows that Walter knows that he will have to kill him at any moment, he takes Jesse to work with him and use him to make meth without Walter. And since Walter knows that Gustavo now he wants to kill him, he gets scary and wants to go to hell. And when he goes to get the money to escape, he realizes that Skyler gave all the money to his Xbox. And then Walter starts to cry while but calm down, because Walter doesn't get dismotivated so easily. By chance, he comes up with an idea and paying attention because the plan is very complex and it works by chance. Walter poisons Jesse's girlfriend's son and tells Jesse that the one who poisoned him was Gustavo Fring, so that he believes that it was actually Walter who poisoned him. So Jesse wants to kill Walter, but since it was actually Gustavo, he has to kill Gustavo. Jesse doesn't understand a thing. He doesn't know who is cheating on him, who poisoned whom. But just in case he trusts Walter and helps him kill Gustavo. And they kill him by putting a bomb in an old client's wheelchair. And that's how Gustavo Fring dies. But instead of deciding to go back to teaching and stop bugging, he decides to ally himself with Mike and Jesse to continue cooking meth. But this time they are their own bosses. He no longer does it because he needs the money or to leave an inheritance to his family. He does it because he wants to become the biggest drug lord. That's how he befriends some Nazis, a girl who drinks coffee with stevia, and thought the trigger happy. But to cook quietly, Hero has to tie up a few loose ends. First, they have to break a Gustavo's computer where there's a lot of evidence. They use a giant magnet for that. Then they have to get raw material and they steal a train like a western. Then they have to get a lab, and for that they use a fumigation company as a front and cook in houses while they fumigate. And last but not least, they have to eliminate all of Gustavo's former employees who are in jail and can't talk. And that's why Walter pays his Nazi friends to take care of everything. In 2 minutes, make it the most ultra-violent scene of the series. The point is that the business starts to go and grow and grow and grow and grow even more, and Walter becomes the greatest of all the greats of drugs. Well done, but everything starts to get complicated. Mike is discovered by the police and he has to escape, but Walter kills him and Mike dies. Goodbye, Mike. May the force be with you. Scholars really stressed out about all the work of being a narco accountant. Besides, they don't know what to do with that much money. So Walter decides to return and get it all over with. But just the same day, Hank finally finds out, and Jesse also realizes that it was Walter who evened the kid and not Gustavo. So he joins Hank to catch Walter, but Walter takes his Nazi friends to catch Jesse. And then everything goes to hell because the Nazis steal his money, kidnap Jesse, and they also kill Hank. Goodbye, Hank. May the force be with you. And here begin the dramas of Walter and Jesse. Jesse is being held hostage and forced to commit. And to bug up his life even more, they kill his girlfriend. Stop bugging with Jesse's life, please. Well, it's a tough story, isn't it? Very difficult. Then Walter is having a hard time because his wife has had enough and doesn't want to see him anymore. And besides, too, his son can't stand him because he thinks he killed Frank. And besides, all the police know that he's Heisenberg. And then he gets cancer back. And he is very difficult situation. Then he pays for a secret service that makes you disappear, and he disappears. A few months later, Walter was hiding in a cabin off the back of Beyond, and one day he goes to a bar for a whiskey and just sees on the TV his former partner say that Walter was never part of the company, and that's where Walter gets mad. Of course, he was ignored on TV, and he thinks it's over. I gone back to Albuquerque, and I'm done with it. First, he goes to the house of his ex-partners and leaves them all the money he raised with the business and makes them promise that they will give it to their children as a donation, and in order for them to fulfill, he frightens them by telling them that two hired killers will be following them, which are actually Jesse's two stoner friends. Then he goes to Skylar's to apologize, to give her a paper with a coordinates for the police to find Hank's body, and to confess for the first time the truth of why he going into the drug business. I like it, and I good for it, was the answer of Walter. Then he meets Todd and the Stevia girl and asks them for a meeting with the Nazis, and they accept. There Walter poisons the girl, and the girl hours later dies. Finally, Walter goes to the Nazi house to carry out his revenge plan, which frankly worked out well by pure chance. The problem is that Walter was hit by a bullet, and then he asked Jesse to kill him, but Jesse says no because he's no longer manipulable. It's too late, Jesse. Jesse, too late. He's already ruined your life. How late you realized it? So Jesse leaves and sees Walter for the last time. Jesse runs away and lives very happy. Walter's the one who doesn't get bugging up anymore. Because when he was walking through a lab, Walter White dies. And this is the end of one of the best series in the world. Thank you very much for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe and like it. Bye!